Some of y'all about to be real mad at me, but it must be said.
I'm gonna try to be quick with this one. Try to make this under 10 minutes. It's just something that was on my heart, and I feel like I don't label myself as a social commentator on YouTube, so let me actually talk about some social commentary other than Real Housewives reviews. But something really bothered me today, and it's not something that just happened today. It's something that happens every day, and this was me logging onto Twitter and seeing this girl made this outlandish tweet about how she said she would either break up or she would be so mad if her boyfriend came back to her, or she found out that her boyfriend was attracted to JT from the City Girls. And I was like, what was the reason?
What was the reason? I had a reason. What was the reason? What was the reason?
I just was my first reaction. What was the reason of you saying that? Second, you know, when I went to her profile and I clicked to enlarge her IV, she was a light-skinned woman. And this is where we're going to have to talk about colorism a little bit. And it's irritating. It's irritating because I feel as if every time a dark-skinned person, such as myself, speaks up on their experience of dealing with colorism, it's brushed aside. It's, you know, we don't need to focus on that right now. We worrying about Black Lives Matter. This is causing divisiveness in the Black community. We need to come together as a whole. Y'all always trying to, first of all, y'all need to learn what being multifaceted is about, because I can do all at the same time. I can talk about Black Lives Matter. I can protest and talk about and support George Floyd. I can talk about and support Breonna Taylor. I can defend Megan Thee Stallion. I can defend Zendaya when she was getting trashed for receiving an Emmy for her works. I can do all of that at the same time, all together. Y'all need to stop breaking off and cherry picking what it is we're allowed to focus on. Because let me tell you right now, the Black Lives Matter issue and race issues in America is not going to be gone for a very, very long time. It's something that we are always going to have to deal with. So we just going to have to learn how to talk and chew gum and walk at the same time. That's what we're going to have to do, because I'm not putting off my feelings about an issue any longer. So just getting back into this colorism issue. It has less to do with the actual issue of colorism other than people's inability to accept the fact that they might have colorist ideals and step outside themselves to accept that. Because, you know, as you can expect, a girl like, oh, you know, why this gotta be a dark skin versus light skin issue, and nobody say anything about her being dark skinned. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna post the person who made this tweet. But it was a person who, like me, has gotten fed up with trying to explain colorism, an issue so simple, to other people. She had made a tweet that was like, similarly to, because you know we got to compare it to y'all to get y'all to see it straight. Similar to racism, and that there is overt and covert racism, there is overt and covert colorism. Just because somebody out loud does not say, oh, I can't stand a dark skin, which there have been plenty of people that have said that, just because they say that doesn't mean that that's not implied. That little lady, that little girl who made that comment talking about JT, nowhere near as being as attractive as JT, but you said it because in your eyes and in your mind, you think because you are a lighter complexion of somebody that you are worth more, that you are prettier. And I'm here to tell you that not only is that not the fact, but that's so damaging, and that really can bring a person down. It's not necessary, and you're dealing as somebody who makes those comments unprovoked, and there have been plenty of people who do. So I'm like, please don't try to gaslight me. Please don't try to gaslight other dark-skinned women where they're speaking about their experiences. Well, me, I know I'm not like that, and I know my friends, I'm like, y'all sound like white people when y'all get to talking like that. Y'all really do. Y'all sound like racist white people who are just, well, I'm not racist, and the people that I'm not around aren't racist. Like, okay, cool, we're not talking about y'all then. If the shoe doesn't fit, then keep on walking. But at the same point in time, we're not going to act as a collective as though there is not a stereotype and a stigma that comes along with having darker skin versus lighter skin. We see it all the time. We see it all the time. There are people who think that JT from the City Girls is not attractive simply because she is dark skinned, and that is it. There are people such as Hazel E who thinks that she is attractive because she has lighter skin and has a lighter complexion. That also is not the case, you know? And it's just, we need to reconcile that that is the fact. We need to reconcile that there is a sort of privilege allotted to a person being closer to the color of white than the color of black. That happens. That's complete logic. If white is held as the standard and black is held as the lowest standard, clearly the more you come across as white, you know, your standard goes up. So, you know, this whole pretending that it doesn't exist or it's not even really like that, absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. It was even a couple of days ago or weeks ago when they were talking about sitting down and doing a table read for what was the show called? I'll go back and find it and probably put a little clip of it in here, but it was all lighter skinned black women doing a table read, and it's just kind of like just trying to erase and trying to, you know, well, we're gonna give y'all somebody who's half black, who looks a little bit of black to satisfy you, and it's not cutting it anymore. And when people finally have had enough and decide to call something out, y'all want to talk about how it's divisiveness and don't try to divide the black community, and there's enough stuff going on right now. Like, no, that's just an excuse that y'all get because y'all don't like when people hold you for responsible for the stuff and the things that y'all say. That is not cool. Y'all need to reach back into whatever it is in your life that has made you assume these things about yourself as a lighter skinned person and about black people as being darker skinned. Where'd that come from? Most of the times it's in your family life because your mama or your grandmama or your auntie or somebody, you know, said something about the fact that you are, because you have a lighter complexion, that you are better than somebody, and that is not the case. That is not the case. Reverse colorism is not a thing. I'm gonna need y'all to stop using that excuse as well. You know, you sound like racist white people when they say that racism, reverse racism is a thing, and that black people can be equally emphasis on the equally as racist as other black people. If you look up the definition of colorism, which I will put in there, discrimination of people for darker skin tones. That's it. They can't be reversed onto you. That's not how it works. People have become confused and conflated the idea of bullying to colorism, and that is not the case. Yes, you might have been a lighter skinned woman or man in middle school or high school and getting picked on and bullied, but it wasn't because of your skin tone. It wasn't because Queen Naja, because somebody was jealous of you. I'm like, it's just, and the stuff that y'all relate to being bullied, it's not the same. It's not the same as being called a gorilla. It's really not. It's not the same as being called every name in the book. Dark, charcoal, African, like, just so many things. Like, I don't got called every name in the book, and that has messed up my self-esteem. You know, it took a long time to build it back up to where it is now, but yeah, I used to not like what I used to see in the mirror, and that was because of people, and for people to say like, oh, that wasn't me, and da 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 da. It was, y'all, because, you know, every dark-skinned person can't be, you know, making up their experience, and it's just so funny because, you know, I see all these light-skinned women and or men coming on and just claiming, well, I just went through so much colorism, stuff like that, and the people that really have received the colorism don't even speak up on stuff like that. I don't talk about my experiences of colorism like that, and I went through a lot that had to do with the fact that I was dark-skinned in my head, everything from A to Z. So for the fact that a lot of people who are dark-skinned don't even speak on their negative experiences with colorism, and for people of lighter skin to come back around and circle it and try to victimize themselves in a sense because for whatever reason, oh, they were jealous because I'm prettier than them. They were jealous because I have better hair than them. They were jealous because da 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 da. They picked on me because I had like that's cool and all. And I'm so sorry if anybody has ever experienced bullying in their life. It's not fun. It's not cool. It's not right. It is not colorism. That is not colorism, and it does not affect you so like that. And that's just the facts. There's no arguing. There's no trying to play the middleman. There is none of that. It is what it is. It is what it is. And the sooner that y'all come to accept that, and the sooner that you admit that there is a sort of privilege, not a lot, but a certain privilege that comes with being a lighter complexion than others, then we'll be cool. Like, I'm like, but this whole either pretend that it doesn't exist or try to put yourself on the same level, or divert the conversation to talking about something else, because apparently if you talk about colorism at the time where there are police shootings going out, you know, that's divisiveness. Y'all need to cut it out. Cut that out. Cut all the excuses out. Take ownership for your part if you have played a part. I'm not talking to anybody that hasn't played the part, but take take ownership in your part that has to do with the discrimination of a darker skinned black woman because of the color of their skin. You start having these conversations, dialogues. When your homeboys or your homegirls start talking about some, you know, what this girl was on, talking about some JT not pretty. Check that mess. Check that mess. Like, why do you think that? Why do you think that you are prettier than JT? JT is a very beautiful girl. So, and this girl was not cutting the bill. Not even scratching the surface. So, I'll talk about what it is that makes y'all feel, you know, that they need to kick down somebody else to raise yourself up a peg. Start that conversation. Where I'm at 11 minutes, boom, that's it. All I gotta say. Period. Ooh.